Pay attention to what's happening all over the world. The forced ethnic displacement of Palestinians by Israel, military coup in Myanmar, the COVID crisis in India, and police violence and state-sanctioned violence in Colombia. These are all linked to imperialism, capitalism, and white supremacy. In the US, police killings of Black and brown folks, the climate crisis, anti-immigrant sentiment, anti-Asian violence, mass shootings, the killings of Black and brown trans women, the housing crisis, and oil pipelines through sacred indigenous land, all of it. The fight against white supremacy, capitalism, and imperialism in front of us is linked to a global movement to get everyone free. Make the linkages, make the connections, dismantle all of it, all of us together.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about a very tragic and sad story that I really don't like talking about, but I feel compelled to talk about it because it is unbelievable that this type of violence is occurring in the United States of America, okay? The type of violence that we're going to talk about in this story is the type of violence that you think that you would see in some type of, third world country or something, okay? But, I mean, hey, with the direction that the country's going in, with the Democrats running everything, maybe the U.S. is headed towards a third world country. I don't know. I can't really tell the difference when I see stories like this because we've let criminals essentially run these cities and it's costing us innocent lives, okay? And in this case, we have to talk about the life of Mr. Anthony Frazier, who is a 51-year-old security guard that unfortunately was brutally murdered in broad daylight by a savage, okay? And I want to talk about this because the details of this murder are literally unbelievable. And a certain group that claims to care about Black lives, once again, is silent on this, okay? Even though police still need more help in regards to this case. So without further ado, let's actually just go ahead and play the news clip. That way you guys can get better context in regards to this case. Take a look.
An arrest in the murder of an Atlanta security guard who was gunned down as he arrived at work. Good evening and thanks for watching today. I'm Christine Spiro. That shooting happened along the 300 block of Cleveland Avenue. Anthony Frazier's family said the husband and father was working the part-time job to provide for his family. Fox 5's Deidre Dukes joins us live from Atlanta Police Headquarters with the late-breaking details. Deidre.
That's right, Christine. Police holding a news conference here this afternoon. They told us that they got a break in the case yesterday when they received a tip that the suspect was spotted along Cleveland Avenue near the crime scene yesterday. Now, they apprehended him, and this afternoon they did confirm that he has been arrested for murdering and robbing Mr. Frazier.
Surveillance video shows the moments after a man shot Anthony Frazier Monday evening near Cleveland Avenue. Thursday afternoon, Atlanta police announced the arrest of 30-year-old Stanley Anderson for his murder. Police apprehended the suspect near the crime scene Wednesday afternoon after receiving a tip that he was in the area.
11 Alive was there as officers flooded the neighborhood, some with guns drawn. They entered a wooded area on Connell Avenue, directly behind the homicide scene. Moments later, officers could be seen walking a man, now identified by police as 30-year-old Stanley Henderson, out of the woods. Hours later, they searched another wooded area across the street from the homicide scene and found evidence related to the killing of Frazier.
We were able to establish a urban encampment in which the individual was residing. We conducted a search warrant and conducted a subsequent search of the location, and you did have the video that we released, and the Crime Stoppers tips were vital in being able to get a name associated with this individual, and our office was able to shore up some of that information and make sure that we developed a probable cause to charge this individual for felony murder and 2 counts of aggravated assault.
Detectives tell Fox 5 robbery was the motive. They continue the search for others seen in the video, actually removing items from Frazier's body after the shooting.
There's 2 additional individuals that's depicted in this video as well. This case will not be closed until those individuals are brought into custody as well. I think we saw just the bizarre nature of what happened after this incident and just how ridiculous that was. So, if you think we're closing the book on the murder just because we got the guy that pulled the trigger, you're absolutely wrong. This case will stay open until we have you in custody as well.
He didn't deserve this. He didn't. He's a good guy. He was a good guy. Family man.
The victim's devastated family gathered at the crime scene hours before news of an arrest in the case. They called the gunman a coward and also had harsh words for the others seen in the video for their disturbing actions following the shooting.
To take from somebody that's laying there, he could have been fighting for his life or he could have been already dead. But to take from somebody that's laying there with a hole in the back of the head, you're the lowest of the lowest.
And police do tell us that the suspect has a lengthy criminal record. Now, there are two suspects, as police said. Homicide investigators told us this afternoon there are two suspects who remain at large today, and they are asking that anyone with information call Crime Stoppers or contact Atlanta PD. You can remain anonymous. Reporting from Atlanta Police Headquarters, Deidre Dukes, Fox 5 News.
Yeah, major break in what was a brazen crime in broad daylight. All right, thanks so much, Deidre.
Yeah, so that was extremely disturbing, right? I can only imagine when you get out of your car and you're walking and all of a sudden it's just lights out because some coward shot you in the back of the head. I mean, the guy probably had no clue what happened, right? No, nothing at all. Okay, I can imagine that's how it is if you get shot in the back of the head like that, right? And I guess what's even more disturbing, guys, is just how normalized this type of violence has become. Because I read the article that I got this video from, and man, I'm gonna tell you, this right here is extremely disturbing. The reaction of an individual who actually saw this. Let's read this. As he walked away from the scene, they're talking about the gunman. He turns to an older man who was sitting on the sidewalk some 35 feet away, who was watching the whole thing unfold, completely unmoved by the violence. As the gunman passes, the older man puts up both his hands up towards him. The gunman then dropped something, picked it up, and left the scene. The older man then walks past the SUV and Frazier, shaking his head and looking at him without stopping to check on him. The man appears to have a white beard and is dressed in a blue button-down shirt, possibly with another t-shirt over it, jeans, and a backwards blue cap. Investigators said they want to talk to that man. So basically there's a guy. I'm presuming just from what he looked like, he may have been homeless. I'm not necessarily sure. But this guy is so used to seeing this that he was completely unfazed by the fact that a guy just got shot in the head right in front of him. He walks up to the body, doesn't check on it, don't see if the guy's alive, he's breathing, doesn't need any help or anything like that. Just shakes his head and walks away. Almost as if, again, this is normal, right? This is everyday life. Again, it's sickening. It's absolutely sickening, okay? This man was a father. He was working a part-time job to provide for his family. He did not deserve this. He didn't deserve this. But this has happened because, again, we've let criminals roam the streets. This guy has been arrested 12 times. 12 times. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. This is your sellout. This is your Tom. This is the person that's terrorizing black people and so-called people of color. These are the type of individuals that are doing this. But yet you don't see any protests, any riots over piece of shit people like this guy doing stuff like this. You don't see any of that. You never hear any of that at all. But all I hear is black and brown bodies are dying every single day. But the black and brown bodies that are being piled up, the dead ones, they're being piled up because they're being killed by other black and brown folks. But again, there's silence on that. But when a black or brown body is killed at the hands of a white police officer, there's riots and protests. I don't get it. I really don't. I don't understand it. Why is it that only certain black lives matter? Okay? If you are a law-abiding citizen that is working a job, trying to feed his family, being productive, if you lose your life at the hands of a criminal, your life does not matter. Nobody cares. Nobody's going to say your name. But if this individual here, okay, this criminal would have been killed at the hands of a white police officer, you would have had people protesting in the street talking about his life mattered. When most of his life, this guy spent terrorizing other so-called black and brown people, right? Again, that's the crazy part about this. That's the crazy part. But everything, again, is the white man's fault. The white man is at fault for everything. They're the cause of all our problems in the world. That's why I played that video at the beginning of this video. It's just to show you this is what these people say. All the problems of so-called black and brown people are because of the white man. But the truth is that situations like this really tell you what the real problems are for so-called black and brown folks. There's other so-called black and brown folks. The white man didn't make him do that. That man did that because he wanted to steal a couple dollars, some change, maybe a phone from that guy. That's it. He killed that guy. He took that man's life over some pocket change, over nothing. Nothing. But again, if that individual, somebody who will take another black person's life for pocket change, if that individual was killed by a white police officer, you have people boo-hoo crying in the street over him. Our society is messed up, man. Who and what we value in our society, what we prioritize is out of line, man. It really is. This is just ridiculous. Honestly, there should be protests for the fact that this individual was arrested 12 times and he's still roaming, right? The fact that our criminal justice system is letting people like this guy terrorize our cities and our neighborhoods. That's what these people should be protesting about. But you're not going to see that because the only lives they care about are criminals. That's it. If you're a law-abiding citizen, your life does not matter. Not in 2022. Not in 2022. So rest in peace to Mr. Frazier. My thoughts and prayers are with his family. Again, this is a tragic incident that simply did not and should not have happened if we were living in a sane country. Unfortunately, we're not. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a black conservative perspective. Peace.